Hello and welcome to Hitching the Trailer. We are back. With me, as always, is my ghostess with the mostest, my lovely wife Nicole.
No, that was terrible.
Aren't they all?
Oh yeah, I guess. Hiya.
We're back to do the new Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. So, with all that, you ready to pod, babe?
Ready to cast, babe?
Let's go.
Good. No? What did you...
All right, babe. Hit us with the synopsis of what's going on in Ghostbuster Land this time.
Okay, the synopsis for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. When the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters, new and old, must join forces to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age.
So this is the second installment of the newest Ghostbusters.
The Paul Rudds.
The Paul Rudds, we'll call him. That's good. That's a good way to put it.
He looks so good in that trailer. Like he's just
He ages
the
like
man.
a fine wine.
He really does. I'm aging like cheese over here.
Oh, don't sell yourself short there.
Some
lady.
cheeses age well.
I guess. Not brie.
I think that is a cheese that ages well.
Does it? I hate brie. How old is Paul Rudd?
How
He's gotta be
Paul Rudd? I'm gonna guess he's 50. I'm gonna guess he's
how
50.
about that?
69 he was born. April 6th, 1969.
Wow.
So he's about to be... I don't have a calculator.
Mathing here. So he's going to be 55?
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to get to a calculator. That is crazy.
Good.
That's what happens when you're not problematic.
Well, when you
You
think
just
about,
age well.
what was this, the first movie you remember in him?
Clueless.
And how long ago was that? That was like 25 years ago now, I would say.
Probably more than
Well,
that
yeah,
even.
that would be 99 was 25 years ago. That's crazy to
That
say.
is crazy.
It's crazy.
Well, that's like, have you ever seen that thing where it talks about if Back to the Future was made now, it'd be like 2003 or something
I know.
like that? It's like disgusting.
That seems like days ago, 2003. Yankees Marlins World Series.
Oh, God, here we go. That you can remember.
Some people remember historical dates by
Right. Or like
baseball games or
what time
football
their
games.
children were born. Not
Well,
you,
I
but
know.
you know what you can tell
Listen,
me?
I know.
What was the score of that game?
I know it was after the Celtics Cavs
That's the
Eastern
problem.
Conference Game 5.
Herein lies the problem. You knew that the Celtics had what the score was and when they had been on, but you couldn't tell me what time our first son was born.
I knew it was post. That game probably ended around 10:30. So,
Oh my God.
But these new how do you feel about the Ghostbuster franchise? Like,
I don't have the same attachment that you do. I mean,
well,
I don't know if you have much of an attachment, but I don't have the same attachment because I was not born when they came out.
Right. So the first one I think was 84.
Mm.
So I was a little young there, but they
1984. Yeah.
and then the second one was what, 88?
89.
89.
So I was a
and
year.
You're a year old, and I was 11, so that was prime time. Like we had
That's a good time for Ghostbusters.
Yeah, we had the Ecto cooler with Slimer on it.
I did drink the Ecto cooler.
Delicious. Yeah, that was. I think
Not
they
at
still
one,
have it.
but,
Well,
yeah.
maybe they broke it back out, but I saw
Yeah.
a commercial for it the other day. So.
You saw a commercial for it?
Yeah.
On what?
Maybe YouTube. I don't know. What do we watch commercials on? Maybe it was during a game or something.
Yeah, Nickelodeon. I don't know.
Yep.
That seems like that's where they'd have those commercials.
They'd be catering to them. But yeah, we had a bunch of the characters. Me and my brother.
Mm.
We were big Slimer guys. We liked Slimer. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was
okay. So that right there was something I was thinking about. I forever.
Me too. I know what you're gonna say.
Thought it was
the
State Puff Marshall
Yeah,
man.
of course.
But it's Stay,
Stay Puff. It's the name of the
Stay,
brand.
Puffed, Puft, which makes sense. I don't know why I thought it was State Puff.
Yeah, because it sounds like they're saying Stay Puff.
Yeah, I
And they
guess.
were part of Ghostbusters was on the Empire State Building or near the Empire State Building. I don't know. That's how I correlated it when I was that young. I'm like, oh, they're near the Empire State
You
Building,
thought
so it
it
must
was
be
a.
the State Puff.
Oh
I thought
no!
it had to do with the Empire State Building.
Wow, I thought you were smarter than that.
Well,
I
obviously I'm
just,
not.
I just was hearing it that way. I guess I don't know, but I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Well, no. I'm sure there was a lot of young,
Confusion around that.
yeah, especially the younger crowd. So those first ones when they came out, I mean, Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd were already pretty big stars. So to have them in a movie, kind of, I wouldn't say it was for kids, but it was kind of for kids.
Kids, nerds, whatever.
But so how do you feel as reboots? Like they tried to do the one with all women, and
I
people tried.
liked that one. I wasn't that I didn't
I'll
like
tell you
it
why I didn't like it, and
because
it's
there
not
was women in it.
no, it has nothing to do with that. I don't like
Women pretending to be smart.
oh
Yeah, it's really annoying, right?
no, I don't like
Oh, women being funny. That's it.
no no
No
no
funny women here.
no. I don't like when
The
they.
sexualization of Chris Hemsworth as opposed to a
I don't give a
woman.
shit. Well, this is my point: is that a lot of people had a problem because they made all the men dumb and all the women smart in that movie. That was a huge thing. But they did
So
listen,
opposite
listen.
of real life.
That doesn't matter. They did, but they did the same thing in Barbie, and people had a problem with it. But Barbie made $1 billion or whatever, and that Ghostbusters didn't. And I'll tell you why. It's because people don't like remakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like these ones are reboots, which they take a little bit. It's not like they're trying to be the same story. These are different stories tied in to the
Was
movie.
it a remake though?
Yeah, it was like the exact same plot as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Where
I don't know. I don't really remember it.
But it was the exact same plot, but they had different names, different, but it was the same story.
Mm-hmm.
We already saw that story. Give me a reboot where it gives me some nostalgia, like they brought back in the first one with Bill Murray and.
Yes, I do understand that. I don't mind a remake. I just want it to be done to
Did you
my
like? Well, no.
specifications.
Let me ask you. Did you like the remake of Overboard?
No, and that's exactly what I was thinking of. It just needed to be done to my specifications.
But if they told you the story of the kids after Overboard,
no,
and then something similar happened to
no,
them,
I don't want to see that at all.
the heck?
No, I'd want to see it. Just needed to be cast with Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson and make it the exact same movie. I don't understand why nobody did that. I don't understand why they didn't think of that.
What I'm saying is that it wouldn't have done as well because people.
It would have done as well if they would have cast it correctly instead of using
what was the last
Anna
movie
Faris
they
and
did, like,
whatever that guy is.
Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson did like 4 movies together.
If you have complaints about those, that is
I love it.
problem.
But I'm saying in movie money making wise, the first 2 did really well, and then they tailed off after because people were like, "Yeah, we saw it already." So now you're showing them the same story, the same movie, just different people in it. Where I think if you do that's what Star Wars did awfully when the next 3. It was more of a reboot.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a remake. It's not like they're trying to tell you the same story of The Empire Strikes Back. Or
do they need that? That feels like, I think that in movies, I think that there are certain movies that really and truly don't need that to be done.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I think that that's probably one of them.
But what, Star Wars or
yeah.
this?
I don't feel like Star Wars needs to be redone. Like, I don't feel like there's any need to remake that. Like, I feel like
you feel like Overboard needs to be.
No, but I would have thoroughly enjoyed it.
Right, but it wouldn't have made the money.
I don't need it to make money.
Well, you don't.
I just needed it.
I mean, people.
Listen, it's my happy place movie. It is. Overboard is the movie I watch when I'm sad or when I'm going through something. I watch it and it just makes me so happy.
I didn't see the new White Man Can't Jump. I refuse, but I don't know if it's a remake, but it's not a reboot either. Creed That's like a
Mm,
reboot of of Rocky, and it did
hmm.
so well because it still ties in the old
It
story,
still ties in Rocky.
ties
Well,
it
the
in, but
first one did.
it's a different thing altogether.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but I didn't think the last one was good.
Well, that's the third one, though. I mean, you're like drawing thin after that.
But people went crazy for how many Rockies?
Well, Rocky 3 was great, but I don't think it did as well until Rocky 4. I mean, brought he ended the Cold War.
Mm,
Like he by himself went to Russia as Americans and stopped
yeah.
the
And used no technology whatsoever in order
nope,
to fight. He was just
just running up
out in the
hills,
cold. Yeah,
a
logs,
lot of logs.
a lot of
Had his
logs.
wife sit on his leg press, whole thing.
Listen, you do what you can.
Hey, some people, and then Drago was just getting juiced up and ready to go. And if he dies, he
If he
dies.
dies, he dies. Do you feel like there are do you feel like people just make sequels and reboots because they feel like it's an easy moneymaker? Do you feel like there's movies that have had sequels that were completely unnecessary and movies that needed a sequel that they didn't do? Can you think of anything off the top of your head that was like sequels were necessary,
Mm.
sequels were not necessary?
Well, I mean, I feel like there's certain stories where you're like,
I feel like
I'm gonna watch it no
genres
matter what.
work well.
Yeah,
Certain genres of
like
sequels work well. I think that this type of genre kind of aids to a sequel. Like I think
yeah,
people who
yeah,
are nerds want to go see,
right.
and I say nerds in the with the utmost disrespect. I mean, like, no,
Rude.
no, I'm joking. No, but I feel like that is the type of like the comic book movies that they make over and over. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like
the
those are
thing,
the type of people who want to go see. I think sometimes with comedy is where they get it wrong.
right? But and I mean, this does have sci-fi attached to
Right,
it,
that's
so.
what I mean. That kind of.
But I think with the comic book movies, there's so many comics, so they can
Hmm.
always find a story.
Yeah.
I
Do you
think that's
think
what
The Godfather needed all of those sequels?
I think it needed the second one for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if it
You
needed
think
the
you
third
needed to
one.
know where, like,
Yeah, you needed to
the
know what happened next
Corleones
after
came from?
once Michael was like the boss. You needed to see like how that went.
Yeah. The
Uh,
third one was the history of like the Corleone
yeah,
family.
and
That was the one
they
with De
didn't bring
Niro.
a lot of the people back. No, De Niro was only in the second one. The third one, Al Pacino and
Wait, so the
Andy
second
Garcia.
one was the history then.
Yeah.
The second one's where they go back in time.
Well, yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah. But yeah, the third one it was like him as far as movies that should have had a sequel. One that came to mind, Draft Day. I would have liked to see how that season played out after they drafted all the people.
But then that wouldn't have been a sequel, I feel like,
Yeah.
because you wouldn't have called it Draft Day Part Two Electric
Or
Boogaloo.
could it? Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? It would have been a whole separate movie from him getting drafted, right? Because if you do Draft Day 2, you'd just have to draft again. Like it'd just be the next year's draft, you
Right.
know?
But I would want to see how like what happened in that season where they got all these guys and what happened.
I always think for me, I'm Sophie's Choice, the after show. Like, what comes next?
The repercussions of the choice.
What comes next? You know?
Um, I mean, basketball. Seen them as the old timers now after
No, no, thank you.
seasons.
I like, man, Stone trademark of that. It's not. I did not like that movie.
We're at a part. The last night we were talking about basketball and how underrated a movie it was.
Really?
Yeah, me and John were.
Wow, that's crazy. I don't feel that way at all.
You haven't seen it in a long time. That's why.
Have you seen it recently?
It was on a couple of weeks ago. I watched like the last half hour of it. I think when I was like tidying up around down here. Jenny McCarthy's in that movie. My girl.
Your girl from Mass Singer. Be honest, that's your favorite place that she's ever.
But I mean, they make so many sequels that it's
so,
hard
like
to.
The Hangover.
Yeah, they made three, and they should have made one and a half, maybe. Like that third one was so bad, and the
Yeah.
second one kind of went off the rails in the middle of it too.
Mhm.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you love those characters, but
Did that need to be done? But that's the thing, is that just a quick cash grab
oh,
for
of
everybody,
course, yeah. The first one made so much money that it was like
It was a funny movie.
right, but now they set up these movies like obviously Marvel they always have the tie in to the next
Mhm.
movie, but they did that with the first one of these when at the end they like the end credit scene they show them going to New York.
Is there anything that I get more annoyed of than having to sit
Oh, you
through
hate it. You hate
credits
it. I'm like, no,
to
there's gonna be
watch but you do it in every movie.
because
It's like
every movie that
now.
you know that's gonna have a sequel.
But every movie that we watch now, I feel like it could be the most
I didn't do it for
seriously
Killers of the Flower Moon.
it could
Well,
be the
let's
most serious, depressing movie, and you're like, wait,
no.
wait, let's watch through the credits just in
Yeah,
case.
they might tell us what happened to the American Indians.
Right? Is Thanos gonna show up? And they were actually all the Native Americans were just part of the blip. Everybody. No, it's so annoying to me. I used to have an ex-boyfriend that we'd sit in the movie theater, the lights would come up, and we'd have to like, oh, it just used to drive me nuts.
Well, blame it on Marvel. You know, I'm not here to defend your ex-boyfriends, but Marvel makes you do that. That
I know,
makes you
yeah.
think that
You know
every
what,
single.
Marvel? Boo. Boo to you. You and all
They
your
even did it.
gajillion
What did we
dollars.
watch yesterday? Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog with the kids, and they had a post-credit scene.
Again, yeah, they're making you ready, like, get ready for, like, the next
Yeah, but they did that.
wave of.
Like I said, they did that in this one, and then they showed Winston, who's now owns everything.
Who's Winston?
Winston is Ernie Hudson. He was the guy in the
Oh,
first one.
Ghostbusters. We're back
Yeah,
to Ghostbusters.
back to
Okay.
Ghostbusters. So they kind of give you the premise
Do
to
you
the
feel
next
like
one.
Ghostbusters needed all of their sequels?
They only had two. The
It was just
first
the
one, the
first
second
and the
one.
second one. That was
Yeah,
it.
which was good.
Okay.
I liked how. I mean, it did this. I looked up how much money they made. The first one
Mm-hmm.
made like 250 million, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like a $50 million budget. The second one was like a little more of a budget. It made 205 million, so I guess it didn't do as well. But
Mm.
I like that it was that the Ghostbusters were now like everybody hated them because the one guy the I guess he's the mayor, and now he's in this new trailer. They brought him back.
Mm-hmm.
Was kind of like these guys didn't do anything. They're like, no, we saved you guys, and nobody believed them really because nobody saw
Right. That was his
Gruel
thing that
and
he
like
said, like, no evidence. There was no
right,
evidence of it or whatever.
right. So yeah, I liked two. I mean, that was really the one that like got me into it
Mm-hmm.
because that was the one that came out when I was 11.
Yeah.
I had seen the other one, like we had it on VHS, I think,
Mm-hmm.
back then, and I loved the first one.
Well, I feel like we kind of have butted heads in the past about a sequel compared to the original two, because we will fight each other to the death on which Ace Ventura was better.
Oh my god, the first one.
Pet Detective or When Nature Calls. No, not even close. When Nature Calls is so much better.
It's not. Though.
It's wild
it's
to
not.
me. You think just because Dan Marino's in the first one, that's
Listen,
what makes it better? Courtney Cox? What? Give it to me.
The first one was actually a good story where
What?
like they're trying to solve a case. The second one is just off the rails. It's funny.
It's hilarious.
It is funny. I'm not saying it's not funny.
Out of a rhino's butt. Okay.
Yes, but it's absurd. The second one's absurd. I'm just saying the first one. I liked both of them. You did not like the first one.
It's not that I didn't like the first one. I just didn't think it compared to the second one.
Like the second
I'll
one,
fight you now.
I'll Bumblebee Tuna all day and night.
Yeah.
But the first one was so much better.
Mm. No, I disagree. So that's what I mean. Like when sometimes certain movies, I feel like I guess the question to pose is, can the sequel be better than the original?
It's happened a few times,
That
but
would be one of them.
yeah, I guess, yeah. They say Godfather 2 is better than Godfather 1, but I mean Godfather 1 was really good.
I don't think it's called Godfather 1. I think it's just The Godfather.
Yeah, well, yeah. but once they made Godfather 2, it became Godfather.
I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works.
Does it not?
No.
Um, Most of the other movies that I think I wish they had a sequel, the people died at the end. So like,
Like the real people?
no,
Oh.
like Scarface would have been like love that movie. I think it could have went on, but
Could it have?
well, if they didn't make it that he got his demise at the
But
end,
isn't that like the best part of the movie?
yeah, yeah. But I mean, they and sometimes they do like remember Sicario?
No, I
We
don't
watched
remember that movie.
we watched it, but they made a part two. But the end of Sicario one was kind of like final, but I guess you can use the same premise because it's like cops and stuff like that. You know, like
Yeah. I think the worst thing they can do when making a sequel is like hiring similar looking but B-list actors to like do the second part of the
you
movie.
said those are the best ones, like Speed Two, where
Like the only one I guess it works for in my mind is Grease 2. Me and my sister love Grease 2. We're probably the only people on the planet
probably,
that love Grease 2. And we love it in its absurdity.
yeah.
But that was some B list acting.
But like I said, they did the same thing in Speed Two when they got Jason Patrick instead of
Jason Patrick was good looking. I don't know why. I wonder
yeah,
why
but
his
they
career
got him
wasn't that
instead of
great.
Keanu Reeves because Keanu Reeves didn't do the second one.
Did Billy Baldwin do one of them? That was
Uh,
a boat one.
yeah, but
I
I
feel like
don't
we've
think
discussed that
no.
before.
Speed Two was about one, yeah. Cruise Control was called
Of course it
Speed Two.
was.
Cruise Control,
Of course it was. What else did you call
fantastic.
it?
But that yeah, that movie was a B movie. That
You know what movie I'd love that just speaking of boats that I would love a sequel?
boat trip.
What? What movie is that?
So I think Mr. Bean's in it and
Oh, I don't think I've seen that
Cuba
one, but
Gooding
no.
Jr.
Um, no. Step Brothers.
I think they are making a sequel.
Are they?
I think they're in the process right now of
That
making a
would
sequel.
be. That's one of my
But
favorite
I
movies.
mean,
That would be just a
kind of
funny.
all their movies are just Step Brothers sequels. Like even like the Sherlock Holmes they did was kind of a Step Brothers sequel where they're
That
just
was
like
not good though. That was
Talladega Nights was kind of a Step
love
Brother.
Talladega
You know,
Nights.
like
Yeah.
they have the same relationship, so it's always going to work.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty
I want to see what
sure
Dale
I've
and
read
Brennan are up to.
I'm pretty sure I read an update that they are
Did you?
making a new one. So that would be amazing. That's something that I think they could do really good, especially it's been a long enough time.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like, does it do better with like time? Like, you know, which movies I think were unnecessarily made more than once, and I'm sure people are going to disagree with me, but National Lampoon movies.
Yeah, but they're all different.
Yeah, but I just don't feel like they were
You mean the
the
vacations?
vacations.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay. Well, the
yeah, not
Christmas.
just like all of them.
I think the
Like,
Christmas one's the best one, but
yeah, but like, was Vegas Vacation like?
hilarious. Loved it.
Mm,
Well,
yes,
but you're
I thought it was funny too, but like, I guess I wasn't around for
the
the first two.
second
I
one.
didn't
I think
understand the idea of constantly changing the children.
yeah.
That just confused me.
I don't think they meant to do that at first, but then it became a gag once.
Hmm.
But the first one was really good, and then the European one was definitely not as good. Even though me and all my friends always say, "Look, kids, Big Ben Parliament," because they are going around in a
Hmm.
circle in England, and they keep seeing the same thing.
Hmm.
But though, yeah, I think after the first one, the kids didn't want to come back. Or I think it was Michael Hall. What's his
Michael
name?
C. Hall.
No, he's been in a million things, but he didn't want to come back.
Hmm.
He had something else to do, so
Breakfast Club.
maybe
I don't know
Breakfast
when they
Club.
made it, so I don't know how it like.
Right, but also kids age out. That's the whole thing. It's like
Yeah, I guess I don't know. It's just like, but like
it's not like The Simpsons where they
but the
can just keep
parents
them.
keep getting older. Why don't the kids get older?
True,
Like,
true, but I mean, if they made it now, the kids would have.
well, they did. That was the other thing. They made another one, and I just didn't understand. Ed Helms was like
Oh,
rusty as like
right,
an adult. It just
right.
mm,
Was Chevy Chase wasn't in that one though, right?
no.
Huh.
Chris Hemsworth does, though.
Really?
Yeah, they did a whole thing about him having like a huge dick,
Whoa.
which I'm sure was accurate, but you know.
Well, I didn't know we were gonna get into huge dicks in this podcast, but
Yeah, right. I
well,
saw
Chevy.
it written down on your list of things to talk about.
Well, I mean, speaking of, I think Chevy Chase is considered a huge dick. So,
I think a lot of people think that. We wouldn't know though. We'll see when we go to Iron City Con or whatever it is in Pittsburgh. What's it called? PitCon?
YinzerCon.
YinzerCon. That makes a lot more sense.
They'll have Chevy Chase and
Brett Michaels.
Brett Michaels and the Fonz. I think he was there one
Henry
year.
Winkler?
I'm pretty sure he was there one year. But now this trailer, though, I think seemed to have a lot more action than the first movie. So I think.
Well, I think the first movie was her kind of figuring out who her grandfather was. That was like the whole
Right.
plot of this.
And I'm kind of getting, but it looks like Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray might be in this one a little more. They even have Annie Potts throwing on the uniform, getting ready to go.
Yeah, and Ernie Hudson is.
Ernie Hudson, yeah, he's. And then I didn't see your boy though.
Who?
Oh, the guy with the glasses. He was in the first one.
It's very specific.
I'm blanking on his name. Rick Moranis.
I love.
They should have brought Rick Moranis back, but he doesn't really act anymore.
I thought he just was coming. He just came back.
Oh, maybe.
Just did. I don't know, but yes, that was so long ago that we read that. When was that? That we were wondering about Rick Moranis,
Yeah.
and we went and like looked it up, and it turned out that he's just like the greatest guy of all time, and his wife was really sick, and she passed away, and he just left Hollywood and took care of his kids. Which, you know what, saying it out loud, the idea of that making somebody like the greatest guy in the world, like, seems that we must think of men as just like,
I think it's more like
real lowbrow. Like,
if you have all this money coming in and then you
just
choose,
seems crazy to like leave it
right.
for
it because he could have hired help instead of
right,
doing that, but
he took care of his
he
kids,
knew that he needed to be there for his
Yeah.
kids. So that's
just
that's what makes him an awesome guy, you
right.
know? Like,
but you know what's crazy is like if like a woman did that, nobody would care nor think it's a big deal.
I think a lot of women have done that.
Yeah,
like,
but that's
especially
just we're
actresses.
supposed to do that. You know,
yes.
It's just assumed.
But I'm sure
Like
there's
men
some
do it, and we're like celebrating.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some actresses that hire a bunch of help too. That, you know, they keep on acting, but they have their nannies or whatever with them to help.
Ugh, what terrible people, right?
God forbid you make some money.
God forbid you have help.
But you know what I wanted to ask you with
What did you want to ask me?
What's his name? The kid from Stranger Things being in it. Does it look like they're trying to put out a like a Stranger Things type vibe? Like,
No,
you
I
think?
don't think so. I think you just think of that kid when you.
I don't know.
Wolfhard.
Because
remember, didn't somebody get in trouble for like saying that his name was like a perfect porn name or something? And
I didn't see that.
No, yeah,
That's
I forget
really
it was
funny,
somebody.
though.
I don't know if it was somebody interviewing him or somebody doing an interview, and he like it did not go over well because he was like a little kid, and
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that probably wouldn't go over well.
yeah.
But I mean, Finn Wolfhang, is that what you said?
Wolfhard, I think
Wolf.
it is.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I think.
I guess his parents had a sense of humor. But again, like his family coming over from Ellis Island, what exactly?
Whose family?
I don't know. They
don't know this.
They gave a lot
family.
of names based on what they did.
Wolfhard.
What they did previously in different countries. They were like,
he wolfed hard.
Oh, your last name's Blacksmith. Maybe what they did to the wolf.
They killed them all.
No, maybe they needed to create more wolves, so they got them hard to inseminate other wolves.
What? You think that's how his family got their last name?
Or maybe they just couldn't understand what they were saying at Ellis Island. I don't know.
We don't know that anybody came on his family through Ellis Island.
Okay.
How do we know?
Then maybe
Is that where everybody came from?
in the other countries they just that's how you got your name. Like this is John Blacksmith. This is
No.
Tommy Wolfhard. I don't know.
I really like that. That's how he. Tommy. You know Tommy.
You know them weirdos down by the wolf den. They're always, you know what they're doing down
You
there.
know Tommy Wolfhard. He lives next door to Benny Sheepbanger. A lot of farm life over there.
They're a whole crew. It's weird. Weird down there. Don't get caught down there after dark.
Yeah.
But no, the monster that they show in this trailer, I got Stranger Things vibes. It looked like there was a part of it where it was the darkness. It almost looked like they were in the Upside Down.
See, the thing that I thought was kind of cool is when they did show the monster in this one, and when they showed Slimer, it was very much reminiscent of that same technology.
Oh yeah, the Slimer
that was
good,
like real bad when you look back on it, but kind of like the claymation of it all and the
here's the thing
stop motion
with Slimer. He's really just a nuisance. He's not doing anything bad other than gooing you up. Like he doesn't kill anybody or anything. He literally flies through you and then you have ectoplasm on you. Like maybe we're the bad ones for trying to get rid of Slimer. Maybe Slimer deserves a chance in the society.
Okay. I don't know.
You're not pro ghost.
I am afraid of a ghost, so if there was a ghost, I would be fucking terrified. If I saw that thing, I'd be terrified. Like it's like a giant
hammerhead,
boogery raisin.
Oh, you're talking about? I thought you were talking about the big monster. The big monster looked like a hammerhead.
Yeah. What did Bill Murray say? Like tall, dark, and horny, or something like that.
Here comes tall.
That was very corny, but
I love Bill Murray.
Very Murray-esque. What's your favorite Bill Murray movie?
Oh, tough. I like so many of them. I just want to immediately say, "What about Bob?" Because I wouldn't say he's great in Caddyshack, but I don't think Caddyshack's a Bill Murray movie. He's
right.
Like it's more about the other characters. He's kind of just like a goof in it. I mean, he's great in the original Ghostbusters. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What would you say is yours?
I really like him in Space Jam. Again, it's not a Bill Murray movie, but I really like his part in it.
I mean, calling Space Jam a Bill Murray movie would be calling Space Jam a Larry Bird movie because I think they're in it about as much.
Probably. That'd probably be my favorite Larry Bird movie if that's where you're going.
Oh, better than Blue Chips?
I don't know what Blue Chips is.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Face.
All right, we gotta stop this podcast and watch Blue Chips.
That does not sound like a movie I want to watch. Is it a cop movie?
No.
Blue Chips? How would I not get that from there?
I just can't believe you ever.
Is it a gambling movie?
Not necessarily. It's college basketball. Nick Nolte's coach, pretty much.
Gotta be about gambling and drinking.
He's pretty much like a
Bobby
Knight type character, and he's recruiting these guys, and they're like, "You got to pay these players or whatever." And he's like, "I never paid players." But
wasn't that illegal?
It was illegal.
Not anymore.
But then all of a sudden, his team had Shaq, Penny, and some white guy from the country that didn't miss any threes.
Would that be Larry Bird?
No, he wasn't in the
where's
NBA
Larry Bird in this movie?
He was just in it, like, for 2 seconds.
As Larry Bird?
Yeah. And also, Bob Cousy was the athletic director.
Who's that?
Bob Cousy was one of the greatest Celtics of all time.
Is that what they named koozies after? Did he invent koozies?
I'm going to have to check on that. I'm going to guess no.
Okay, I don't know. I've never heard that word before.
So you're saying you think drink koozies are named after Bob Cousy?
That guy could have invented them.
Well, I'm going to tell you why I don't think so. Because Bob Cousy spelled Cousey, and Cousy is Coozie.
Are you sure?
I am 98.7% sure. You're looking it up. You're like, I need to. And also
I'd like to know the spelling of koozie.
Who is the
How long have koozies been around?
Find out who invented koozies.
I, well, obviously that's the goal
And if
here.
it's Tommy Sheepbang, I'm out of here.
No, Tommy was Wolfhard.
Tommy Wolfhard. Sam Sheepbang?
Benny.
Benny Sheepbang. Oh,
God.
they're a whole family, yeah. Who can keep
Koozies is with a K, and they're Australian. Now let's see.
yet they're not big enough for our
Where do
Fosters?
they come from?
Now you're just doing a card trip trivia
I
voice.
am. I love that guy. Stephen Cray, if you're listening,
We love you.
big fan. Okay. Bob Autry of
Whoa.
San Antonio, Texas,
I thought they were Australian.
in the early 1980s. I don't know why it said that at first.
Fake news.
I know. The word koozie has lost its trademark numerous times over the years, making it a regular everyday word in the English language, similar to words like onesie, zamboni, and hula hoop.
Ooh,
What?
Zamboni getting some love.
But so yeah, it was in the 80s.
It was in the
It was the
80s.
80s. 1982, the can cooler.
Why didn't they just keep it the can cooler?
Oh, you know what was Australian? I'm sorry.
The word
Because it
koozie?
said a koozie or stubby holder. That's Australian.
Stubby holder. I'm going to start calling it that. That's fantastic.
Give me a stubby holder. So
Wait, how did we get the koozies?
Because you brought up Bob Cousy.
Oh, Blue Chips. That's right.
So I
So,
still don't understand what's...
you still haven't said what your favorite Bill Murray movie was.
I said Space Jam.
No, that doesn't count.
Okay. What's another Bill? Probably Scrooged.
Oh,
It's a
Scrooge
good
was
one.
good. Scrooge was good.
I think he's really good at being like a jackass. That's
Well,
like something that's
Oh,
like,
yeah. He's fantastic. I mean, Groundhog Day. He's
yeah.
such a jackass. But Scrooge, that's another kind of
Bob Cousy movie?
reimagining where it's just like they made like 8 different or more
Oh,
than that.
Christmas Carol.
Christmas
Oh my God,
carols.
a million of them.
What was the one we just watched? Spirited? Was that it? With Will Ferrell and
Yeah,
where they
but that
were,
one's not really a Christmas
but it was
Carol though.
based on it though because they were weren't they the ghosts? One was Ghost of
Yeah,
Christmas
he was
Past, but
actually...
they were like a franchise or whatever.
Well, the whole thing was finding out that Will Ferrell was actually Scrooge.
Right. Ebenezer Scrooge, yeah.
Yeah.
Originally.
Yes. Sorry if that ruined it
Spoiler
for
alert.
anybody
It's from
who
2 Christmases ago.
didn't see it. Listen, you never know. But yes, that A Christmas Carol has been done in a million ways, but it's never been a sequel. You've never seen like
Well, no, yeah. It's not
Christmas
like
Carol
what happened to
2.
Tiny Tim the next day. It's like Tiny Tim in surgery. Whatever.
That's your plot of Christmas Carol 2.
Yeah.
Surgery. You know what year it was?
Exactly.
What kind of surgery was he having?
It's going to be a rough movie.
It's just all of the songs.
Jim Puzzleman.
Puzzleman. That just no. The Puzzler makes me think of
Knockoff Batman.
no when like
The Riddler,
the Riddler.
the
No,
Puzzler.
when I feel like you talk. Is it Mystery Men? What's the
Mystery Men was with Ben Stiller and
yes?
Janine Garofalo.
And
Yeah.
so when they're like looking for another like superhero to join their thing, Dane Cook's in it for like 2 seconds, and he calls himself the Waffler. He's like Waffle Man. He's like the Waffler, sweet and crispy, bad guys of history.
That is a fantastic movie. They should have made it.
Is there a sequel to that?
I don't think so. I don't know. Look it up.
I don't think there is.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's funny because I'm thinking I'm like, what would Dan Aykroyd's best movie be? And he wasn't in as many good movies. I guess he went kind of serious, Driving Miss Daisy, and
Tommy Boy,
yeah, but he wasn't
My Girl.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
He
but
wasn't like the best in it, but
The Great Outdoors with him and John Candy was probably my favorite movie of his. You gonna go Coneheads?
no, I thought. Don't you love whatchamacallit? Trading Places, wasn't that him?
I do love
Eddie
Trading
Murphy?
Places too. Yeah, both of those are. So I guess he actually probably has the more iconic movies than because Trading Places is an iconic movie more because of Eddie Murphy than Dan Aykroyd. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not a big Coneheads fan.
No, I never really got that sketch that much.
They made a movie.
No, I know.
David
I
Spade
know.
and Chris Farley
Chris
were in it.
Farley was in it.
Both of them were.
Um, I guess I didn't get it that much. I don't know. Let's see. What's his? Um, Blues Brothers. I didn't really get that either.
Yeah, I wasn't a big Blues Brothers guy. I think that was an older generation type thing.
Yeah.
But I think he was nominated for Academy Award for Driving Miss Daisy. Am I wrong about that? Probably.
I don't know. He was in that movie? I didn't even know.
Yeah, he was the son of Miss Daisy.
I didn't. I'm looking at some stuff he's done.
What jumps out to you?
I'm not seeing anything like, oh, obviously Yogi Bear.
Wait, do you remember that Kate kept coming on after we would watch
Yeah.
trailers? They just kept wanting us to watch Yogi Bear.
Yeah, I didn't.
Was he the voice of Yogi? I
Yeah.
think he was, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justin Timberlake was the voice of Boo Boo.
Justin Timberlake will really go for that animation check, huh?
Well, hey. I feel like animation has to be like the easiest thing for you to.
Yeah. Nowadays, you probably don't even have to leave your house.
Yeah.
They could probably do it. You could just read your lines over the phone, and they could doctor them up.
I don't. I don't want to be rude. I'm not saying anything right now. Wait, you don't like? Okay,
Here we go.
maybe your mind just escaped you.
Could be.
Do you not love a movie called Celtic Pride?
Oh, I forgot. Him and David Stern
1996, two
in
overloyal Celtic fans kidnap their opponent's star player in order to
David
guarantee
Wayans.
their team the championship.
David
And who?
Wayans played for the Utah Jazz.
That's who they kidnapped.
I know. I'm well aware of that movie. The movie was terrible,
Was it?
but I did love it.
Do you know who wrote it?
If I had to guess, I would say
You're not gonna guess.
John Hughes.
Judd Apatow.
Judd Apatow. I remember him talking about that,
That's crazy.
and it might be one of those movies that got cut up where it would have been better if they let the director just do what he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, again, it's a pretty ridiculous premise. But at least
Sounds like it.
I'll tell you this: at least they tried to make it funny. You ever watch The Fan with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes?
No, was it serious?
Yeah, Robert De Niro was a stalking fan. Wesley Snipes was supposed to be like Barry Bonds.
We were just talking about Wesley Snipes the
I know
other
because
night
we were
because
watching
I was,
Money Train.
and I was asking you what happened to him.
Yeah, he went to jail for tax evasion, and they never really let him come back
That's
to be
crazy.
an elite man. But he was like Barry Bonds in baseball, and I think he was a free agent. And Robert De Niro was kind of his character from, uh, like Taxi Driver, kind of. He was just like a psychopath. Where in the end he ends up being the umpire in the rain and trying. Yeah, no, I know. There's no video here, but she's looking at me like, "Are you joking?" No, he's behind home plate as the umpire and fights Wesley Snipes in the
While
rain.
he's playing?
Oh yeah.
No, that's so stupid. Sounds stupid.
Who is a better substitute umpire, Robert De Niro or
I've never seen it.
Frank Drummond
Who's Frank Drummond?
from Naked Gun? Remember we watched that not too long ago?
Oh, yeah.
Reggie Jackson's going to kill the queen, and he's being the ridiculous umpire.
Stupid. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot that I feel like Dan Aykroyd. I apologize, Dan Aykroyd. Like, done a lot of stuff, but
He wasn't the lead actor in too many.
right. It was Spies Like Us.
Spies Like Us was great. Him and Chevy Chase.
Dragnet.
That was a remake.
Yeah, him and Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm. It didn't really do too well. I don't
Doesn't
really
seem like it.
I remember watching it, but I was young, so I don't really remember if I liked it or not.
I feel like movies back when he was kind of like starring these movies, so like the 80s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
the plots of these movies are just so much more absurd. I feel like they just did whatever they like. They would make a movie. I feel like now everything's a little too serious and too
True.
over the
There's not a
top.
lot of comedies coming out
But they
nowadays.
really made I just a movie that came up. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I never even heard of it. Called The Couch Trip.
Yeah.
A burnt out shrink needs a temp. A charming escaped convict takes over his practice and radio show. And it was him. It was him, Walter Matthau, Charles Grodin. Like, what? What?
I feel like
Who's making that? Like, whose idea was that?
that has a lot to do with probably like cocaine. And they're like,
Yeah.
this is a great idea. Let's do it.
So more cocaine is needed in Hollywood, is what you're saying.
I think there needs to be like a balance. I think maybe the 80s was too much cocaine.
Yeah.
Now it's not enough cocaine.
Not enough cocaine.
So they
definitely.
need to meet somewhere in the middle.
Even just the synopsis are so good back then. Like Loose Cannons. Did you ever hear that?
I
made a movie with Gene Hackman.
Yes.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
An unconventional cop who doesn't take any bull
Never.
is paired up with an amazing detective to capture some powerful criminals, but the cop soon realizes that his by-the-book partner has split personality disorder?
He's a loose cannon. Of course.
What? Wild.
That is wild.
Which one of them? That's what I want to know.
I'm going to guess that Gene Hackman has a split personalities.
You think?
No.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure Gene Hackman's probably playing a straight man.
Probably.
They're like, this guy is one of the best actors we've ever had, so let's put him in a buddy cop movie. It was the 80s.
So, getting back to Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which we have seemed to have gotten far, far away from, other than Dan Aykroyd.
It's been a while since we've done a podcast.
I know. We've got a lot to say.
Got a lot to say.
So, in the trailer, it says every ghost they've ever caught is supposed to be, like, unleashed in this. And, like, I'm curious of, like, is it all going to be like that old, I don't want to say old technology, but like, are all the ghosts going to be how they used to be? Is it done to bring back the, you know, kind of give you that, what's the word I'm looking
Nostalgic?
for? Yes, thank you. The nostalgia of the first one. Is it getting people to like,
based on the trailer.
From an old person's perspective, how do you feel about that?
Based on the trailer, it looked like only Slimer was older technology. It looked like the actual monsters that they showed were like newer, high tech, obviously green screen, you know.
The ghost coming at him and like there's like a library like kind of situation is obviously very reminiscent of.
Yeah, I just like that they brought back the old dickhead mayor.
Yeah.
From the first one. Yeah, he's like, the Ghostbusters, stop now.
I feel like that guy's like been a bad guy in other things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Also, I feel like he's
What's his name? William Atherton.
I think he's being paid by the pro ghost lobbyists.
And he was a Die Hard.
Yeah, he was a bad guy, right?
That's what I couldn't think of.
Yeah.
He was like the guy, wasn't he like all about her?
Was he like the first one?
Yeah. He wasn't a bad guy. He was like all over her, I feel like.
Oh, at the party.
Yeah.
At the Christmas party. What else was he in? He was a bad guy in something else, too. What do they say is main...
You a big The Day of the Locust fan?
Nope.
Real Genius?
Real Genius
the professor?
Yeah, he was... that's...
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. I couldn't think of his name, yeah. That was another... I think that was a Mel Brooks film. It was a goofy film.
No, it was absolutely not.
It was comedy, though.
Yeah, it was not a Mel Brooks.
It wasn't Mel Brooks.
That's what they have. Die Hard, Ghostbusters, Real Genius, Day of the Locust is like what you'd know him for.
Oh, yeah, no. Definitely didn't see Day of Locusts.
Didn't? That's
No.
weird. He was in Law and Order SVU.
Who hasn't been in
I
Law and Order
know.
SVU?
If you haven't been, we don't know yet.
Like I feel like any actor that's ever acted has been on some sort of Law and Order.
That should be a quote for you. You should make that into a shirt.
Any
Any
actor
actor
that's
that's ever
ever
acted
acted
has been on
some Law and Order.
He was on the other Law and Order too.
Told you.
He was in Boston Legal. Were you a big
No,
Boston
I was
Legal
not.
guy?
I was not.
The Practice.
Just seems like he was on every. He was probably just an asshole lawyer on every single
Mm-hmm.
show.
That's what he strikes me as. Nash Bridges. Were you a Nash Bridges kind of guy?
Huge.
Huge. Biodome. Biodome is what I remember him in.
And
He was one of the doctors inside the dome.
right.
That's so funny.
Was that Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin?
Yes. My sister loved that movie. Squarely Stubbed.
Pauly Shore underrated his movies.
I don't know how to say that, but Biodome
In
was
the Army now?
definitely one that my sister was obsessed with. We watched it a lot.
Yeah, those are the movies that they used to play on HBO during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything with Pauly Shore.
Or like WPIX 11.
Oh yeah,
That like
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could taste the stale popcorn right now.
Were you bringing the popcorn home from the movies and watching it at home?
No, that's you.
Yeah, but why was your popcorn stale if
I
you're
feel like
watching on WPIX?
I feel like popcorn gets stale instantly.
Instantly.
I feel like the second it comes out of the microwave, you give it like 5 minutes, that it's stale.
Are you eating popcorn at noon on a Saturday?
Not without you, I guess. What's up?
So do you have more to say about stale popcorn, or should we get back to the movie here?
Your stale popcorn.
Good comeback. Wait, 12?
Yeah. Just 12 years younger than you.
Oh, you wish.
You wish.
You're only 10.
No, but so I guess we've gone through and through the Frozen Empire.
Frozen Empire. Well, we didn't talk about what what a ice age would do to the world and our economy, but
Boo. Who wants to hear about that?
I'm just saying, ice age would be way worse than a heat wave.
Okay, here we go. Now he's gonna start talking about global warming.
Global cooling is what we should be worried
It's
about.
all a hoax.
I'm just saying we should be more worried about global cooling.
Okay, cool.
Well, the movie is about global cooling.
Is it?
I don't know. They're saying ice age is coming, and then they're on the beach in Acapulco or something, and it starts getting iced over in the trailer.
That sounds like a different movie, but
No, it was in this trailer.
yeah.
But so I guess the only question is, are you hitching your trailer to this movie?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, we have
It's
kids. Of course we're gonna watch it. We watched the first one with the kids, and
yeah, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not dying to see it. I'll put it that way. I'm not dying to see it.
even as a huge Paul Rudd fan,
I am a big Paul Rudd fan. I liked the first one. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it was cute.
Like it was good. But it's like, yeah, if it's on, I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna
right. The
I'm
same thing
dying to go to the movies.
I did with Barbie, which I
did watch,
and it was okay.
Yeah,
even though I killed it in the Hitch in the Trailer episode of Barbie.
Yeah,
we did. I said it was going to be terrible, but it was watchable.
Yeah, it was watchable, but I felt a little let down by it myself.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting much. I wasn't expecting to even enjoy it, but it was enjoyable.
I find myself very unattracted to Ryan Gosling after that. I don't know if anyone else experienced that, but my attraction to him went in the opposite direction.
Interesting, especially when your husband looks so similar to Ryan Gosling.
Oh my god, I didn't know where that was going, but it's also so true. My god.
No, I look like Kurt Angle, obviously.
Okay. Anyway.
I'm like the girl on Love is Blind that thinks she looks like
Megan
Fox.
Yeah. You bunch of liars. So are you hitching your trailer?
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know how I am with a. I have to watch the next one. Like it's a disease I have that if I saw the first one and they make another one, I have to watch it.
What is that disease called?
Uh,
Gotta watch itis.
Sequelitis.
Sequelitis is much better. Sequelitis. He's got it. I got a fever, and the only cure is more movies.
So how does it feel to be back?
Feels good. Missed it.
Can we maybe do one a week? Maybe.
I would like to. Hopefully, people want to hear it again.
Well, I want to thank everyone who has contacted in support. Said when's the new episode coming out? When's the new? It's been months.
Yeah.
We got really bogged down with time and trying to get this baby to sleep. But hopefully,
3 kids ain't no joke, man.
no joke, no joke. They take up a lot of time. But
Sure do.
hopefully, going forward, we'll be able to do.
We've learned to ignore them better at this point. you know,
We
we
stick them
lost
here, stick
one,
them
or
there.
who knows?
Yeah, two of them fell asleep, so we're good to go. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. If you made it to the end, and hopefully we'll be back here soon with you. Thank you.
You didn't do your corny ass keep hitching.
And as always, keep on hitching.